Welcome to KoboldTouch, the new 2D game engine for iOS and macOS 10. I'm Steffen Itterheim, I'm the author of Learn Cocos 2D 2, and I'm going to tell you why KoboldTouch is so special. First of all, it feels like Coco. The entire API is inspired by Coco, and it's the first time this is done by a game engine. It's also one of the first times that a game engine takes the model view controller methodology to heart. It is actually built into the game engine core itself. You have controllers, a controller has a model, and a controller has a view, and you know what to do with the rest. It's also 100% Objective-C, so you get the most modern, the most native look and feel for a game engine that's possible on Apple platforms. Now, KoboldTouch, you might have guessed, is built on Kobold 2D. That's a good thing, right? Well, of course, the rendering is done by the Cocos 2D iPhone game engine, or rendering engine, if you will. The physics are provided by Box 2D, and Kobold 2D itself provides the ease of use, project setup, arc, whatnot. One question that may seem obvious is, why choose Cocos 2D iPhone? Well, it's pretty obvious. It's so popular, it's open source, it's free, etc., etc. No, the real reason is it does the basics. What basics do you need for a 2D game engine? Well, it's quite simple. You need sprites, you need labels, you need particles. Everything else is not important. That's the whole thing. And then, why choose Box 2D? There's also an alternative that seems rather popular. It's called Chipmunk. Why not go with Chipmunk? Well, you voted. As you can see, this is a poll from my blog, and 73% of developers prefer to work with Box 2D. What's interesting to note here is even more developers have no preference than developers who have preference for Chipmunk. This is as clear as a vote can be. Box 2D it is. KoboldTouch wouldn't be going anywhere without support. Documentation is a development goal. Unlike other engines, there's time reserved for writing documentation. And not just the API reference, real documentation that you can work with. Then also you get Q&A with experts, questions and answers. I like to believe that I'm an expert, and I hope that some of the experts will join. And so you can get the best questions answered from the experts, and hopefully also the best answers. And finally, what's important to me personally is to listen to your needs. This is what's going to make KoboldTouch great, because it's all the little things that seem not to be in place, that seem to be quite off, and those things need to get fixed. Your needs need to be accommodated. This leads to a much bigger goal. KoboldTouch development is actually directed by you. You can determine through the suggestions and votes where KoboldTouch is going in the near future. Your votes prioritize the roadmap. So if a lot of people, a lot of members need some feature very urgently, it'll be upvoted the most and it'll be done the earliest time possible. With all this, I hope we can kickstart a revolution together. Now, the question is, what will the license be? It's going to be commercial. It's not going to be free, but it's still going to be open source. Once you paid for it, you'll get the full source code. And more importantly, there's no active membership required past that point. So when you get the source code and you expire your membership, you cancel it, you quit, you can keep using KoboldTouch as is. You just don't get any more support, you don't get any more updates, and pretty much obvious is you shouldn't be selling or sharing the code, obviously. Let's get to the price. That's what's important to you, I guess. I decided that the price of $49.95 per quarter is reasonable. Actually, it's a bit on the low end, but it still takes only 100 members to make this a sustainable business for myself. And it takes 250 members to start thinking about hiring help building a team, perhaps even funding a company, it's up to you. Join and there's no telling where we'll go. There's also a special offer for users who bought my Learn Cocos 2D book. You can join for $39.95 just by finding a certain password in the book. Instructions are on the webpage. And you can save $10 per quarter or $40 per year. That's more than you paid for the book. And finally, there are no royalties that you're paying. On the other hand, you can become an affiliate and get 30% of every sale that's forwarded from you, including recurring billings. Now you only need to forward 5 people who sign up to pay for your own subscription. That seems like a pretty fair deal, I hope. There's one last thing. I find it very important to have a vision that seems just beyond reach, that seems quite impossible maybe even. My vision is Apple would create KoboldTouch. I want to develop KoboldTouch so that it would seem to be an Apple product. I'll do my best to get there. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join. See you later.